Back on this Wednesday morning, if you want a custom set of herb blends and spices with a unique taste, Urban Farmhouse Edible Landscape is the place to get it. The business is dedicated to planting, installing, and maintaining sustainable food, producing gardens and edible landscapes here in Baltimore. Now our guest this morning is Krista Carlson, talking about a great event coming up for the entire family to take part in, and it seems like this is something the entire family can really have a hand in.
Yeah, absolutely. The event is on Saturday. This Saturday is June 25th from 12 to 3 at Green Springs Station. And it's a kids' creativity workshop, so there'll be activities for kids. The Charm City Kids Club will be there doing a duct tape craft. There's going to be a music jam session, music shakers jam session they'll be leading. Chesapeake Cupcakes will be doing a decorate your cupcake session. And I'll be introducing kids and adults to the wonderful world of herbs and spices.
Now the educational side of this for family members and anyone living in a predominantly urban setting, you really maximize the use of space, because if you come from a state that has a more rural base, you got more land than you know what to do with. Here, though, space is really at a premium, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's what edible landscaping is about, and Urban Farmhouse helps homeowners and small businesses make the most of the land that you have to grow some of your own fruits, vegetables, and herbs. And the other side of that is just getting people in touch with where their food comes from and recognizing food at its source, rather than, we get so used to seeing things in packages and bottles already that we don't think back to where it came from. So in addition to helping people grow some of their own food, these types of events help me educate people and get them excited about thinking about natural whole foods and how you can, this is like an artist's palette that you can use to create healthy and delicious foods. All
right, well, you have a blank slate right here. Tell us real quickly what you brought for us. As I understand, you're going to prepare something for us this morning as we go.
Absolutely. So just to kind of touch back on what I said about how we don't often think about where things come from. When you get the bottle of spices, you might not be thinking that ground ginger really comes from the ginger root, which is excellent used fresh, but there's also a time and place for it used in its dried form when it's dried and ground.
Now, as you work with families and show them the sustainability of doing this on their own, do you show them the process of going from the root to the ground finished product?
We could do that. The ginger has to be dried before it's ground, but one thing that I do, and I do a lot with my students, I'm also a Baltimore City teacher, I teach about food, is that we do it the old-fashioned way of using the mortar and pestle. So cumin, for example, here is a seed that it is harvested from a plant. But once it's dried, it then can be used a mortar and pestle and grind it into a powder. I love doing this with my students, especially adolescent boys love to pound it. You can also use a coffee grinder to grind your spices.
Oh, that's no fun. No, see,
yeah, not for me.
This looks authentic.
Yes,
you got to get in and go with it. Now, what are you going to prepare for us today?
Well, I was going to let you help me make a popcorn spice mix. We're going to do a gingerbread mix. One of the things that I really like doing with herbs and spices is when you use herbs and spices, you can often add flavor without using so much salt and sugar.
Sure.
So I was going to do a gingerbread spice mix.
Let's go with
You're
it.
up for that? Okay.
So I'm at your disposal.
Here we go. So what we need is a quarter teaspoon.
Hey, Krista, before you ask, my hands are clean.
Okay. And I just sanitized as well. Quarter teaspoon of the ginger. Which is this one right here.
The root.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, see, what are we, 10 seconds into this? He doesn't know what the ginger is.
And this is one of the things that the kids, if they attend the workshop this Saturday, will get to do. Okay, so quarter teaspoon of ginger. We're going to do a quarter teaspoon of the cinnamon.
Aha, do that
you're
one.
Going for it, yeah.
Right to that one. All right.
Okay.
And the same?
We are going to do just a pinch of cardamom. Cardamom is a really intense spice.
A pinch.
Just a pinch, yeah. It comes from these pods that have a little seed inside of them.
Now, were these ground up as well?
At some point in its history, it was ground up. I can't say that I did it.
All right, we'll pinch that.
And then we're going to do a packed teaspoon of brown sugar. Very good. Very important knowing the difference between the teaspoon and the tablespoon.
Yes. I've been trained well.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
We're going to move this along quickly, and we're going to have this for you in a little bit later on abc2news.com. We've got about half a minute, so we're going to put this together, and this is going to be our seasoning.
Absolutely, and so you can take this home with you if you were to attend the workshop, shake it up, and then we can add that to popcorn and have a sort of sweet and savory popcorn mix. So I'll put the popcorn in a bag.
You're afraid I'm going to throw this on you. Goes
there's
everywhere.
all sorts of shaking that's going to happen.
All right, real quickly, tell us once again about the event coming up Saturday.
Okay, it is Saturday, June 25th from 12 to 3 p.m. at Green Spring Station, which is at the corner of Falls and Joppa. So
All
hope
right,
to see
there
you
you go. From noon to 3 o'clock, the Kids Creativity Workshop. Krista, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, and I got a little lesson.